with the dirt, but it began with a hole in the ground, and our Imu chef who was here filled it with rocks and wood. Now the wood that we used was the ki'ave wood, that's what we call it in Hawaii. It's this tree right here behind of me. All of these trees with brown long branches, these are called ki'ave, and they're actually mesquite wood. It was brought here to the Hawaiian Islands to kind of supplement the cattle's diet, but it just kind of spread like wildfire, and we don't mind because they make the best firewood, whether you're at the beach or at home. So it was a mix of ki'ave wood and rocks, not unlike the rocks that you see embedded in the stone wall. And depending on how much food you're cooking, the Imu chef figured out how much rocks and how much wood you needed and how long to burn it so that it's ready. And basically, you know, it was ready to begin putting the food in when the temperature reaches between 850 to 900 degrees Fahrenheit on a very steady temperature. And that was your clue that it was ready. But you know, that's very high temperature, so if we put the pig right on top of those hot rocks, the pig would just burn. And so instead, what we do in Hawaii is we lay down what I call a green blanket. It is a bed of leaves and the trunk or the stump of the banana tree that is pounded and shredded. And we also use the banana leaf, and we use the Hawaiian tea leaf. And that in itself actually not only protected the food, but it reacted being put on the hot rocks by releasing its flavorful steam. And that was important because in Hawaiian cooking, we don't use special spices or secret sauces. We only use pa'akai. That is the Hawaiian word for sea salt, and that's it. So all of the real flavors that you're going to taste in tonight's Kalua pig actually comes from the wood, the mesquite wood, and the leaves that we placed on top of the hot rocks. Now once that first green layer of leaves were laid down, we then put the food on top of that, and we covered it with a second, what I call green blanket, and then finally layers of burlap and tarp, and finally the dirt. That's what you saw the men removing. That was the last step, and that's how it got there. The reason why we did all of this is to keep the heat and the steam inside of the imu so that nothing escaped, because we wanted everything to just convect in there. And that's when the food was browned. That is when everything was, you know, just roasted to perfection. And that's why we trap all of the heat, all of that steam filled with flavor, and that helped to maintain the temperature required to cook food through. Now in ancient Hawaii, we actually cooked the whole meal in the imu. Besides the pig, we also put starches in, like breadfruit and taro and sweet potatoes. And we even put in a fish that was prepared very carefully. And then we also put in dessert, what we call in Hawaii the haupia, the Hawaiian coconut pudding. All of that was put in at one time, so that when you open it up, it was a gigantic Hawaiian TV dinner ready to be consumed. All right, and this is the second green blanket that I told you about. That's what you're looking at right now. And under that, we reveal, there it is, your Kalua pig. Doesn't that look good? It is a whole pig, and it is cooked to perfection. It is brown in the right places, and you will notice that when they put it onto the platter, the bones and the meat will just kind of separate and fall apart. It is cooked really, really well. How about a big hand for our imu guys and our imu chef who was here this morning to get all the work done. We do appreciate them, and folks, get ready for fresh Kalua pig that'll be on your menu tonight. Mahalo, thank you for joining us.